Well, welcome to the 10 a.m. Collider break on this Friday morning. Thanks for taking some time with us today to hear the latest news and updates and learn what we've been working on this week. So I will send it over to Jamie to start us off.
Well, thanks, Amanda. Well, I want to talk about three things just very briefly this week. The first is that we were fortunate enough to receive a downtown small business relief grant. So this grant was given out to downtown businesses by an anonymous donor. And really the cool part of the grant is you can really use it to fund your operations. So we will be using that to help fund Collider's operations. So thank you so much to the anonymous donor that put up $1 million to help local businesses. I think that's really amazing. So we will do right by you, and we will turn around and work at helping many of our downtown local businesses here in the future. So we're going to try to give back our time to help for the amount that you've invested in us. So thank you so much, whoever you are. The second thing I wanted to bring up was really around this thing called in-person meetings. So over the last couple of days, I've actually started to do a couple of in-person meetings. And it's really funny when you start to actually see people in a room again. And it's weird because sometimes you're like not maintaining eye contact. And I know I was looking down a lot. And it's funny how doing video conferencing and videos really starts to retrain your brain a little bit from actively having conversations with people that are in person. So of course, safety is always a concern at Collider, but I really look forward to getting out a little bit more and talking with companies around the region and seeing how we can help. So I had two great conversations this week. So as we encounter what the new normal will be, I think that just don't forget the power of in-person conversations. It was just, it actually raised my spirit so much to realize that I think many times we're isolating ourselves in our offices or our houses or houses that are our offices. And it is amazing. I actually just listened to a podcast from Neil Gaiman, and he was saying how utterly not creative he is at home anymore because he doesn't go out, he doesn't experience things, he doesn't see things that spark his imagination. And really, it took me to really think about that a little bit more this week when I was having these in-person conversations and how amazing they can be. So again, when you feel safe, try to get out and have conversations with people in the real world. Finally, our now monthly Ecosystem North is back today at about, I don't know why Google does this or YouTube does this, but at 11:45, we will release our next Ecosystem North featuring Yvonne Cariveau from MSU Mankato. We have a great conversation, and the biggest takeaway that I love is her metaphor for why entrepreneurship is like surfing. And I really love that idea. And it was really cool to hear really someone who's been in the trenches many years as an entrepreneur, as a pioneer in rural internet in southern Minnesota, and just being able to take that experience as an entrepreneur and now work with students at MSU Mankato. So I thought that was a great opportunity. It's a lot of fun. Definitely give it a watch or a listen. And with that, I will hand it back to Amanda.
All right, so I had a few things to talk about today. The first is the WE Forums, or Women Entrepreneurs Forums. Some of you know about them. They're a grassroots initiative started here in the community, really by the Kabara Institute for Entrepreneurial Studies and Christine Beach. This year, we're moving into 2021, Collider's taking a more active role in partnering with that and helping kind of recruit participants. So we look forward to helping with that and getting some new people involved with WE Forums. And I wanted to remind everyone as well, Christine Beach and I had a great conversation this week laying out programming for WE Forum for the year, which I think will help with recruiting speakers and recruiting different types of speakers that don't normally get that opportunity to talk just by reaching out well in advance to allow everyone to get that onto their schedules. But wanted to remind everyone as well, the last WE Forum of this year will be held November 19th at 8 a.m. via Zoom, and it's about using social media marketing to attract customers. So the registration for WeForums is run through the Rochester Area Chamber of Commerce. It is free to attend. You do not have to be a chamber member to sign up. So please sign up there, and we'll promote that as we get closer to the date, because I actually think you're too early to sign up right now. But mark your calendars, let's say that. Mark your calendars for November 19th, 8 a.m., and we'll share that on our social media and our newsletter, etc., as we get closer to that date. So on Rochester Rising this week, we aired episode 197. And speaking of doing meetings in person, I actually did this podcast in person. It was the first one I had done since March with Jenyce Habibovic of Sweet House Bakery. So yeah, it definitely was a different dynamic than in over Zoom. Some people just don't like Zoom. You definitely get better audio when it's in person. Not something we can really do with more than one person, one guest at a time, but something we'll hopefully be able to incorporate a little bit more as we move forward in a safe way that makes sense for everybody when that's comfortable. So also this week, not in person, we brought back our Entrepreneur in Focus video series, airing the 6th video in the series with Mike Seaberg and Craig Megard of See Me Productions. So that actually aired yesterday on Rochester Rising. I've noticed with everyone being more at home and, people accessing videos more, we really didn't cut too much out of the conversation with them. So it's a little bit of a longer video, but there is chaptering as well, so you can skip around, but it really was a great conversation. How, especially pertinent for now, how these entrepreneurs really took advantage of the last economic downturn to really launch their careers. So take a look at that. It aired yesterday. And lastly, this week has just been a lot of planning around kind of what the future of our storytelling looks like, and as well as our education. I think there are some very exciting things in the work, especially as far as education goes, that came out of a lot of conversations that we had. I know we've been talking with a lot of you, and we really take your considerations and your input in to heart and try and incorporate that as best we can. So hoping that our education programming in 2021 really reflects meeting entrepreneurs where they're at and specifically what they're asking for in this community. So that is it for me. I will send it back over to Jamie for final thoughts.
So this week, very easy final thought, and that's vote. And I just want to, as a nonprofit 501c3, we are not espousing any sort of political belief, but I think it's really important as citizens to go and vote. So please go vote on Tuesday. And if you haven't already, I know a lot of people have voted already. So just, it's very important that you do, and take the time to do it, and just make an impact in the history of the US. Vote your conscience and vote. So that's all I have this week.
Yes, I am voting in person next week because I was worried about the signature thing. Even though I do have my mail-in ballot, I just had some reservations about that.
I just really feel like if I see 100 people going inside a coffee shop to grab a coffee, you could probably go vote in person. It'll be okay.
Yeah. Yes, they were. This is going to be like a record turnout this year, though, with just the accessibility. So it'll be interesting for sure. Anyway, moving forward. So thanks everyone for tuning in this week. So you can watch us as this is premiered every Friday at 10 a.m. on both the Collider and Rochester Rising Facebook and YouTube pages. And really, a big way you can help us is just to like this video. Make sure you're following wherever you listen in. And if you're listening in on Facebook and you see this pop up, hit the reminder button. It'll remind you at 10 a.m. when this is coming up, as well as on YouTube. Hit that little bell on the bottom right corner, and you'll be notified when we release any content on our YouTube channels. So that is it for us. Enjoy your weekend, and happy Halloween.